Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Baruch Hashem, another beautiful day here in Eretz Yisrael. And today's an exciting day. We're starting a new halacha today. We're in Hilchos Likutey Halachos Hilchos Tefillah, and we're going to start today halacha Daled. Okay, so it's 4 in Hilchos Tefillah. Okay, now again, we learn always for the well-being of the soldiers and the captives that Hashem should show them a lot of mercy. Really, and bring them all back. And wow, so, only Hashem can make a Yeshua, and we turn to Hashem. No one in the world is going to help us at all. The Yeshua is going to come, Rak me Hashem. That's
so
it.
We're not in prayer anymore?
We're in prayer, yeah.
Which one?
4.
And which?
4.
For what?
4-1. Okay, so here we go. So now this is the Rebbe starts off today, and this is a very exciting lesson because this lesson is going to be, you're going to see in a moment. Why? Let me just read. Al pi ha'maisa neiro shel habal tefillah ayin sham kol ha'maisa zois mitchila v'yad soifa. This whole teaching that we're going to have now in Halacha Daled, which is quite lengthy, is going to be based on this story. So Reb Noson is going to draw the halacha from the points of the story, and he's going to do it in the most remarkable way. This is very exciting because who better to get a parish on Tzipurei Maisius than Reb Noson, right? Here Reb Noson is going to actually give us the explanation, a wonderful explanation of the story. Now we have to understand that this story is part of the deepest secrets in the Zohar. This is and Reb Nachman wrote it in a way that it just seems like such a simple story, but it's not simple at all. There's a story within a story within a story within a story, right? And you have to keep track of the stories, and it's quite fascinating the way Reb Nachman was on such a way to write, in such a way so. It's mind-boggling. But let's go on and let's see how it goes. I hope everyone did their homework and they looked at the story yesterday. Okay, that was the homework. But we'll see. But we'll do the best that we can. So we need a lot of siyata d'shmaya. So here we go. Okay, v'zeh aleph. V'zeh bechinas tefillah b'tzibor dahainu ba'asora. So if we want to daven, we're here hilchos tefillah, right? So if you want to daven and you want to be able to say Kaddish, and you want to be able to say Kedusha and Baruch Hu, right? You'll need to have 10 people. What's the matter? You have the place, Shlomo?
Yeah, no, I do.
Okay. You'll have to have at least 10 people. You need a minyan, right? We all know that. Everybody knows that. You need to have a minyan, right? A minyan is 10. There are 10 sfirot, right? Right? So you have to have always a system of 10. It's always systems of 10. Like we learned the other day, there were Eser Mamoros, Asera Sadibros, right? Everything was in systems of 10. Hashem has things in systems of 10. All right, so that's why we have to daven. We daven with a minyan, and this is a hint to the story because again, the story is also within groups of 10. Right? The story we're going to see. The story was in groups of 10. There was a king, and he had 10. There were 10 people on one side. And then you had the 10 groups of kingdoms that really went off the deep end, some more than others. Okay,
Representative today, I think.
We're gonna talk about them. Here we go. Okay, Ki mevoya Sham. It's explained over there in the story. Shamelech im anoshav hayu asara, that the king with his people, right? There were 10. He had 10. Okay, do you know the story at all? You don't know the story at all. Okay. Basically, I'm going to tell you the story. I'm just going to tell you points of the story. I'm not going to tell the story itself. Will take 3 hours to tell, right? Okay, but we'll just do a point. Basically, there was a Baal Tefillah, and this was a person that lived outside of the city lines. He had his own place. He liked to live in the forest. Okay, he lived away from everyone else. And he was always involved in davening and talking to Hashem and being connected to Hashem. And there were times that he would go into the city and he would dress up in different ways, this Baal Tefillah. Sometimes he would dress up as a businessman, depending on who he was meeting. He was going to try to meet somebody. Sometimes he would dress up as a pauper.
To get on their level.
Exactly, right. Right. Chanoch lenar al pi darko, right? Right. So that's what he was doing, right? And what he would do is he would convince people that they were making a mistake in the city and wasting their time with whatever frivolous thing they were doing, and he would convince them to come join him to be a man of prayer outside of the city, which means outside of all of the nonsense, right? Escape into somewhere else, the base medrash, escape into to wherever you can, your room for his both. That's what he was trying to teach them to do. And then over time, there were families that were noticing that there were people missing. Right? This one lost his son. This one lost the husband was missing.
One of the first cults.
Yeah, they were missing. The people were missing. And they didn't understand where they were going. No understanding. And then this is the story of the Baal Tefillah, of what he would do. He was always doing, his whole purpose was to help people to come closer to Hashem. That was his purpose. Now, in the story, there was a king, and this king was someone very, very special, because this king had a hand on his hand, or there was a hand that had the map of the entire world and all worlds, and how to get from one world to the next, and everything of the world itself. Every place, everything, anywhere in the world was on this map of this king. Pretty good, right? Right. He told you how to get from one world to the next, right? In there, like we know, Eliyahu, he went up to the next. He went up, right? It had the path, had that path on there, and how Eliyahu took. And Chanoch, he went up, had the path of how he went up, where Moshe Rabbeinu, everything was on there. But then there was a big storm. There was a very, very big storm. There was a big crazy thing that happened, and everything got upside down. Everything got upside down. And at that time, civilizations turned to forests and deserts, and deserts turned to civilizations, and all kind of things happened. And there was a big Yerida, and all of the world of the seven spheres all took a plunge down. Even the upper ones of the 10, because again there are 10 spherot, right? So Chachma Bina Das or Keser Chachma, whichever one, right? They also went down through this, and the prince, the little baby was lost. The little baby was lost in this storm.
Okay.
The king had a thing in it, and a little baby, and the baby was lost. Let's go on now. Here we go. You had the king and you had the queen, right? That's two, right? The king and the queen. Abbas Malka, right? We had the Bas Malka, Vatinog, and then there was the little child, the Tinog. Okay, so how we have now? Four, right? Four.
Okay.
Of the Bas Malka. Melitz. And then the king had a Melitz. He was someone that was able to speak very well. And he was someone that would always calm the king, and he would always sing songs and praises to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He would always be able to sing to the king. This was the Melitz.
Like a holy jester.
Holy jester, there we go. Like David HaMelech, right? Yeah. Va'oyev. And he had someone that was very beloved, and he had the Neman. And he had someone that was trustworthy, that he gave over control of all of his storehouses and all of his treasures. Then he had the Gibor. The Gibor was the one that was his warrior that would go out. And in the story, the Gibor was a very important one, because the Gibor was the warrior that was trying to conquer the other lands, and he was going around conquering the lands after the storm. Then there was the Chacham. The king had a very, very wise person, his advisor, a wise person. And then you had the Baal Tefillah, and then you had the Baal Tefillah. And the Baal Tefillah was part of the king's. This Baal Tefillah was part of the king's men. This Baal Tefillah that we're talking about was part of the king's entourage. And the king and the Baal Tefillah had a lot to do with the guy that was the Gibor, was the warrior. He had a lot to do with him in the story. Again, everyone, if you want to really understand this, I'll give you copies of the book, and I recommend that you read it. You'll understand the story much, much better. All right, here we go. Bebechinas Oilam Hatikon Okay, that was when that's when there was the Shviras Hakelim. That's when we had the Shviras Hakelim, and again it was Allah b'machshava. Hashem wanted to make the world with gvura, and then there was we know that there was the breaking of the vessels, and at the breaking of the vessels, different shards landed in different places, and so on and so on. Okay, now v'hine mishi yesh lo einayim lirois yachal lahavin mad. Anyone that has eyes, and they can look at the story and see the secrets that are woven into the story. Every word is critical. Every word is special. Every word has the deepest secrets inside it. The way the story was written. Shesoid Maaseh Zois Noige Be'inyan Misas Hamalachim. This story has to do with the death of the kings. Which kings are we talking about? The kings at the end of Parshas Vayishlach, right? So it has the kings from Asa, right? All of the kings. He died, lived, he died. He lived, he died. He lived, he died. There were 7.
Okay.
There were 7 that said that he lived and he died. Okay, those are the deepest secrets in the Zohar on those psukim are fascinating. It's not, you read the story, okay, he lived, he died. This king lived, he died. He lived, he died. Really, death in the upper world is a yerida, right? Is a yerida. That's what it was talking about, where the worlds all took a plunge down. All the spheres took a plunge down from their level. Which, what does that mean? What does it mean? The world of Atzilus turned into the world of Bria. Went down, it had a plunge, it went down. Bria turned to Yetzirah. Yetzirah turned to Asiya, and so on and so on. Everything
nothing took its place, they all went down a level.
They went down a level, yeah, they went down a level, yeah. Yeah, well, that's different. This is we're talking with the spheres. Yeah, but we want the neshama to always have an aliyah, right? The neshama is in the olam emes, right? And the neshama can't do anything to change. Once the neshama is in the next world, it can't do anything. There's no mitzvahs that the neshama can do. There are no aliyahs and yeridas that the neshama has in the next world, right? Like we were just talking about, right? There's no aliyahs and yeridas. You can only have an aliyah if you had a yerida. You have to first have a yerida, then you can have an aliyah. The same way with Shlomo, if I told you to jump as high as you can, what would you do?
I'm okay jumping.
No, if I ask you to jump as high as you
What
can.
will happen afterwards?
No, what would you do to jump? What would you do?
Crouch.
You would crouch to then jump high, right?
Yeah.
Why? If you'd stand as high as you can, you'd jump better, right? No.
There's no spring.
Right? No, there we go. That's the whole idea of the Arida that brings you up to the Aliyah. Okay? You just have to remember that, right? Sometimes it's not easy for someone to crouch down, right? Some people it's easier than others, right? Right? Some people it's easier than others to move to crouch down. Right? So, that's how...
There's another aspect of crouching, which is your anivas and getting the ego out of
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
when you're
yeah,
going
yeah,
through your reading.
yeah.
Hashem, I'm crouching to you.
You realize it's you Hashem, that's right. Yeah. You realize it's all Hashem, right? And the Shviras HaKelim v'tikunim. And the Tikkun, right? And the Tikkun. Good morning, Rav David. And the Tikkun. Amarnu kama pamim. Shekol ma she'onu maitziyin. Ba'amaisiyos hu rak remez ba'alma. All that we're going to get out of his stories of Rabbi Nachman, all of his stories. But now we're talking specifically the story about Tefillah, the master of prayer. You're just going to get a little inkling, a taste of what he's really talking about. But we're not going to understand really the deepest secrets that are buried inside that story. I believe that Reb Noson is teaching us, he brought this in now, because he was telling us that when we're davening, remember we were learning, when we're davening, we have hidden Torah inside our tefillah, right? This hidden Torah inside our tefillah, right? So here we're saying there's so much hidden inside the story. There's a story, you're reading the words, but really what is buried inside there? What is actually in that story? It's mind-boggling, right? Rebbe's Balma, Pochos mitipa min hayam. We can understand less than taking a drop out of the ocean, right? You have an ocean, right? There was a story with the Chavetz Chaim, and there was a bacher that asked the Chavetz Chaim. He says, Rebbe, I would like to learn as much Torah as you. I'd like to know as much as you know. And the Chavetz Chaim said, okay. You can do that. You have to just devote your time and spend your time the right way. And Rebbe, you know all of Torah. So the Chavetz Chaim said, really? I know all of Torah? So he took this young man for a walk, and they went to the river. And he brought a bucket with him. And he asked the young man to take the bucket and fill the bucket up with water. So the young man filled the bucket up with water. And the Chavetz Chaim asked him, now, are you holding the river in your hand? Are you holding the river in your hand? No, I'm holding the bucket with water in it.
Emes.
Right? With water in it. So that bucket of water, the Chavetz Chaim explained to him, that is the way the Torah is. What we have today, with all that we have today, it's like taking a bucket of water out of the word. Oh, what do we really have? So the story is like this. It's mamash a tipa minayam. It's nothing. It's like taking out a drop of water. But again, you have something. It's something to hinge on, something to hold on to. It's something. Even when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the ability, right, to us to be mechad, to have the right ideas. Hainu, shezeh emes, shegam zeh inyan zeh nirmas b'soid ha'maisis. All the secrets are found, mamash, in the story. Aval soid guf ha'maisa be'etzem. If you want to understand the real secret of the guf of the maisa, of the real body of the story, you want to understand the story? No. He says, "Gufa ma'isa be'etzem rochayk v'niskav me'oid midateinu." It's very, very far from us. Ki go amayim nachal naveya asher loy nuchal lava. The water is so deep, and it's impossible to be able to cross over such water. It's such a deep water. You can try to get your feet wet with it a little bit, but you can't go in. It's too risky. It's too risky. Okay, now here we go. Beis. This was the introduction to Reb Noson's introduction.
Why is it too risky to go in the waters?
So we're gonna because no, it's not that it's almost impossible. You can't get into it. You can't.
Connected to it is the essential point.
Exactly, okay. But to understand when you're reading, when you're studying, to realize really what I understand is only a little taste, a gibberish of what it really is. I only understand a little bit. I can't really grasp. There's so much more to understand. Okay, here we go. Beis. Aval al kol panim. Zeh muvan be'esham. This is explained over there. That what? Of the parish of the story. Shemrim is be'inyan ha'maisa zois me'inyan shriras ha'kelim be'inyan v'tikuna. The story is talking about, again, like we said, there were the 7 kings, right? That it said in the end of Parshas Vayishlach. He lived, he died. The king lived, the king died. The king lived, the king died. Right? What was all of that going about? That's about fixing the Shriras HaKelim, 7. The lower spheres.
All the kings of Esau, no?
Yeah.
Why do they get the covenant to be there?
Go look in the Zohar, you'll see. It's talking about the Shriras HaKelim.
Yeah, what does Esau say?
Yeah. Okay, it's a deep story. Secrets are inside it. There's about 100 pages in the Zohar written on that. Okay. Kelim v'tikunim heim. Okay. Asara bechinas. Keneged asara sfiras. There were 10 aspects. Keneged the eser sfiras. The 10 attributes. Asher bahem haya hashvira v'apagam v'abitol. Okay, that's where all the problems began. That's where all the things, and also the tikkun is beginning from there. Kamavoy be'etz hachayim in Sha'ates. If you want to look it up more, you can look this up in the Eitz Hachayim in Sha'ates. Okay, afal pi shashvira lo yoyse ki im bechina shiva malachim. Even though that the shvira was only mentioning 7 kings, like we said, right? There are only 7, right? But we know it's a system of 10. Afal pi chen. Gam shloisha rishonos haya bechinas pagama bittel. So in other words, like we said, that each one of the spheres took a yerida, right? That each one of the spheres went down, even though there were only 7 kings listed there, but there were 10 spheres. So even the 3 upper ones, that really we have the Chabad and the Chagas. Chabad are the upper ones. Chesed Bina Das, right? That's Chabad. Chagas is Chesed Gevurah Tveres Netzachot Yesod Malchus, right? That's Chagas. That's the acronym for the spheres. Okay, so even though there were only 7 kings listed in the Torah, but really the upper 3 were also affected, and they also took their plunge as well.
Abad's not going to get out free, basically. They're also in trouble.
I had a Chabad guy write me the other day. It was interesting. A guy said he's a Chabad guy, and he even helped with another fellow to build a Chabad house. Now he starts learning Likutey Halachos. He says, "This is the emes." I'll send you the message. He says, now he found it. This is the truth. Oh, anyway, that's interesting. Anyway. But Chabad is holy. It's not. I'm not taking anything away. The Tanya is. Rabbi Weinberger told me that if you really want to understand anything in Hasidus, if you want to understand anything in Hasidus, you have to study Tanya. Tanya is the 101 of Hasidus. You need to understand Tanya. Tanya is very, very important because it gives you the foundation of all things. Teaches you all. Okay.
You know, when he built the Chabad house, Tanya, the Chabad was his emes.
It was what? Yeah.
That was his emes.
Yeah, it's emes. It is emes, and it is emes. I'm not saying otherwise.
No. And now we could say Halachos is his emes.
Yeah.
They're both emes.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Times in our...
Different. Okay, they shriras hakelim misham nimshachim kol taivas amidos rois. From the shriras hakelim, that's where all of the.
Also, it's not my fault. I'm not such a bad guy, then.
All the taivas, all of the midos rois came from the shriras hakelim. Ki atumos. Right, kiatos hamavuchas shall call boy olam arachoike mi Hashem yisbarach, because of all of the mistakes that people make, that they're distant from Hashem, and boy, there are lots of billions of people making that mistake today. Right, literally billions and billions of people today that are making this very mistake. See these words here, right? Right, shall boy olam harachoike mi Hashem yisbarach shekol echad nisa lemokim shenisa. Each one made their mistake and they stumbled to where they stumbled. Right, ayidei taivoisa, through their desires, brought them to whatever. Yeah,
I don't understand. Hashem did this.
Yeah, because there's bechira. Hashem did all of this to allow there to be bechira in the world, that you could choose the right thing. That's right. He did all of this. So that way you can have bechira. The whole point in the world is to have bechira, free choice. You have to have free choice. If everything was clear, where's the free choice? A malach doesn't have free choice. Right? Malach does the right thing. Why is a malach do the right? He sees the emes. He doesn't see the other side. He doesn't have the taivas. He doesn't have the midos rois. He's not involved in that. That's why he doesn't have free choice. He can't choose the right thing. That's why we're higher than the malachim. We're on a higher level than the malachim, because when we choose the right thing, we raise up higher than the malach. You understand that? We raise up higher because we have bechira. Yeah, so it seems strange. Why is Hashem doing all of this? Yeah, bechira, right? That way, because again, look at the world today, right? Wait, hold on. It's real. Wait a second. Listen. Wait a second. In the world today, the whole world is against Klal Yisrael, right? Yeah. It's very easy. It's much easier to just join on with them than to stand up for the truth. It's very few. No. I understand. But for us, for Bechira, yeah, for the Jews, how many Jews are falling to that too? Chas v'sholom. They're falling to that. Yeah, I sent you the article from this Reformed rabbi. Right, there's a Reformed rabbi in New York, and he's trying to figure out why his members are part of these protests. Why his members are part of the protest?
What did he figure out?
They're not protesting for us. They're protesting.
What did he figure out?
We must be making a mistake. Yeah, the Reformed guys. Yeah, the Reformed. Yeah, he realized there must be something wrong with that.
Oh, it's he got smicha.
Yeah, his smicha and a roll of toilet paper about equal. Okay?
Unless it's two ply.
Yeah. Then it's better.
I
I don't
Then
know,
it's better.
Rabbi. Is it that bad?
It's probably worse.
But look at the insight he had, though.
Huh?
Look at the insight.
Okay,
he
Baruch
had.
Hashem. Okay. No, I only brought this up because you asked this thing. Why does Hashem make all of this stuff? What's he doing here, right? Yeah. Shehisu oisai lidas zorois kazvia. They come to these crazy convoluted ideas. These cuckoo convoluted ideas. Shezer bechinas kol inyonei hashtus v'hatoyu tohus shall kol akitot hamavorim sham. That's the story that of all the 10 groups that we explain in the story. The 10 groups that we explained in the story. Right? We'll start off with, we'll let the Rebbe do everything. I'm not going to talk. Reb Noson's going to really explain this. He's going to explain the story. Then we'll explain a little bit more. Okay? Now, Kizois Hakat, Shenisu, Mideya, Lideya, that group of Kavod. The first group was the group, these were people that were looking for honor. They were looking for honor. And they wanted to make the person that they'll find with the most honor.
The most money they decided.
Wait, there were 10 groups. Then we're talking about the group of Kavod. This is the.
Doesn't have to do with money?
Listen, no, there's a group, the people with money too.
Someone else.
No, this is the first group. The first group, they were looking.
Group, isn't it?
Yeah, the big. Guys, please. That's why I asked you yesterday to read the story before we learn this.
Rabbi, I
Here
went
they
to
took
work.
out-
I barely-
I understand.
At 3
Okay.
o'clock, I almost fainted from getting up in nets and learning
Oh,
and
wow.
running to work.
In the
I was
story
like, how
here,
does he get up every day?
in the
Yeah.
story here, they start out with money.
You what?
In here, they start out with money. I don't know why, but whatever.
No. In the story, it starts out with money, correct? But then once the master of prayer was found, once he was captured by the people with the money in the story, so then he told them the story about the 10 groups, and the first one he talked about was the one of Kavod. Okay, that's why you have to read the story. Okay, so yeah, we have these copies over here, right? If anyone wants to use them, okay, this is the one that BRI. This is the one that BRI made. Right? This he made for children. This is from the children's version. Okay, but it's great, it's accurate, it's absolutely accurate, it's wonderful, and it'll help you understand the story. All right, so if you want to take that home, please take it, but I need them back, okay? Now, Kizois Hakat, Chenisu, Midas, Lideya, Lisfara, that they wanted the Kavod. What was going on in that group? He explained that who was this group of Kavod? He said that they were people that were looking for somebody with the most kavod, and that person will be their melech. They want a person with kavod, and they want to make the one that's the most honorable person, they're going to make their melech. So what did they do? They found a band of gypsies. Listen to this. This is the crazy. You want to hear how crazy they are? They found a band of gypsies, and there was this one buffoon that was a cripple. He couldn't walk, and they had to carry him. But he had a lot of family. He had a lot of children and a lot of whatever. And then and all of these people would always carry him, but he was very nasty to them. He was very very nasty to them, and they would always honor him, but they would still respect him. They would still respect this man. So they said that, wow, this guy over here, unbelievable. He can't do anything for himself, but yet everyone honors him. He's going to be our king. They make this gypsy, this fool, they make him the king. It's fascinating.
Sounds like the States.
Huh? Yeah. This guy Biden, right? They'll make this fool.
Trump too.
What?
Trump too.
Yeah, okay. A different kind of fool.
He's a piece of work too.
He's a different kind of fool. Yeah. He wants a lot of kavod, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trump likes a lot of kavod. He loves his kavod.
Oh.
Okay.
Shmuel said no to Israel.
Wait. She'ikra hatachlis hu kavod. The ikra tachlis, they said, the main tachlis in life. The main tachlis, my main purpose in life is to be honor, to have honor. But we know that's a big mistake because really it's all about kvod shemayim, right? The kavod is Hashem's kavod, right? Hashem Malach Yeyes. It's HaKadosh Baruch who is the king. That's where it's supposed to be. But they were they went so far that they believed that man should have kavod. That's how far they went. Vaya lehem svores gedolos v'aychoches al zeh she'ikar tachlis hu covered. They said that the main point in life is honor. I just have to have more honor. The more honor a person has, the greater the person is. V'kata acheres nisu v'amru she'ikar tachlis hu rechitza.
Before that,
Ritzicha. That the main purpose is murder.
before you're going on, like,
Listen to this. Wait a second. The next one is murder. They thought that the main thing in the world, they have to have population control.
Sounds like the Arabs a bit.
Wait. No. Population control. Right? Why they do that in America too? Why did they have? They made the whole thing with the. Wait a second. The AIDS found, and then the COVID, and then during the COVID, what happened? You couldn't get baby formula, right? You couldn't get baby formula. Why couldn't you get baby formula? Well, if you don't have babies, you're not going to have more population, right?
Yeah.
The people knew that they can't get formula.
what is formula?
Formula, baby.
Why couldn't they get it? I didn't understand.
Whoa! Put the shade back on there.
Why couldn't they get it, Rabbi?
What?
It wasn't on the shelves. They couldn't make it.
Why?
Then you have to open the window to hang it back up.
They ran out of material. They couldn't get it.
Whatever there was a factory. Whatever. No. Okay, listen. The whole idea was they said that the main purpose in life is murder. You have to murder. The more you can murder, the better off you are. And the person that's the most cruel, wicked person that can murder the most will be their king. So what did they do? They found there was a scream, a terrible scream. They heard terrible screams. So they went and they found the fella that murdered his mother and his father. Huh? He murdered his mother. Now, can you get angrier and can you have a better person than this, to be a murderer, than to kill his mother and father?
Poor guy's an orphan.
What?
Your poor guy's an orphan.
He became it. No, but he made himself an orphan. He made himself an orphan. They said, "Wow, he's our man. He's our man. We're going to make him the king." So they went to find the land. That they can have their kingdom. They crowned him, and they can make it. So they found a place in the mountains where the murderers would hang out, and they hanged out over there. This is wild. Could you imagine? This is Rabbi Nachman writing this story in Breslov, that little tiny little town over there in Breslov, right? Rabbi Nachman's making these wild stories. It's unbelievable, right? And each one of the groups made the same mistakes, and each one of these 10 groups. Again, we said this is connected to the Yeridus of the spheres, right? This is the mistakes that they were able to make. You see how far, if you don't stay close to Hashem, you don't speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu each day, you can fall to these things, and you listen to the news. That's the worst thing, right? You watch you see their spheres, right? And it's easy to say, well, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. I don't know. Maybe they're right, right?
Oh, you don't listen to the news?
Listen to the news. Wow.
Make you crazy.
It can literally make you crazy. The news can literally make you crazy. I believe it. Yeah.
Depressed.
Yeah.
You
Negative.
know, about Yosef, it's about the honor. He had a birthday, and his wife made him a big party. He was about 70 something, and then after the birthday, he said like I don't want it's all was big trash. It's also I didn't want it at all because it gives me honor, and I want only Hashem to get honor.
That's it. Okay, of course. He doesn't want any honor. He wants to give the honor to all back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the whole point in the world. To have Kvayt Shemayim. That's the whole thing. We want to bring more Kvayt Shemayim. That's what it's all about. But these guys made a mistake that the covet has to be for them. Okay. Okay, and the same thing happened with all of the groups. Ad she'efshe be'emes litois bohem k'may sham Rabbeinu Zal v'she'enai roitze legalis kol hasvaros sheyesh l'chol kat v'kat. So Rabbi Nachman didn't explain to us the svara, the reasoning between each one of the groups, because if you would read them, it's like almost studying philosophy, right? You may read the thing, you go, maybe there's something to that. He didn't want to lead our minds into such a way to understand, for some of the things, some of these groups, some of the 10 groups, he didn't want to lead us, so we shouldn't have our imagination go a little wild with it. You understand? Okay. Ki yesh lahem kol kach svoros she'efshel litois bohem be'emes. Because they went down the wrong path so deep, they sunk so deep that if you got involved in them, your mamash can get sucked into it. It's almost like a black hole. It's almost like a black hole. You get near it, you can get sucked into it. It's like quicksand. Okay. Now, b'chol zeh nimshach mebechinas shviras kelim. All of this happened. The mistakes happened because all of these mistakes happened because of the shviras hakelim. When Hashem did, but again, that was purposely. Hashem did that purposely in order to allow for Bechira in the world. We have to understand that, right? In other words, if Hashem didn't do all of these things and all these things came about in the world, the mistakes come about in the world and all of these things, the wrong things in the world, then how are you going to choose the right thing? You understand, right? That's the whole point. You understand what I'm saying? Because why did all of this happen? So that way they can be Bechira in the world. Because if everyone knew the right thing and everyone saw Hashem and everyone in the world saw Hashem, where is the free choice? There's no free choice. But if you see that all of the leaders are going one way and everyone in the world is saying they're this way and that, and then you're going that, so then you may stumble, right? Unbelievable. It's really unbelievable how HaKadosh Baruch Hu designed everything so magnificently that he allowed for the Bechira. It's remarkable. But unfortunately, there's those that make the mistake and they stumble, like these 10 groups here, like the guys with the covet and the guys with the rechita, right? These guys here, Ritzicha, right? These guys killing people. They said that's the tachlis in life is to kill people. Do you believe that? The tachlis in life is honor. A cripple, they make him his king. This guy that kills his parents, he make him his king. Unbelievable. Okay. Nimtza bebechinas shviras kelim, bebechinas midos el yoinos hakedosh shelo yochlu hakelim. The kelim couldn't handle the light. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put too much light into them. How do you understand that? If you take, let's say, if you really want to understand that, take a light bulb, bring one from, let's say, America that's 110 volts, and then put it into your light here in Eretz Yisrael. Screw it in and watch it go boom. You ever try that? No.
Unfortunately.
Oh boy, it'll go boom, right? It'll go boom, right? That's the Shviras HaKelim, right? Too much light. I'm only using that example because that's really what happened over here. There was too much light, and it goes boom.
The light bulb had less capacity to the electricity?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Too much electricity.
It's designed to work with 110 volts. Here we have 220 volts. So you put 220 instead of 110. Boom.
Blows up.
Yeah.
It's risk.
Yeah.
That'll work with your appliances too.
Oh, any electron, anything. You'll fry it.
I learned.
You did that? Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Shelo yachlu hakelim lekabel oyram vayedei zed nishbaru v'naflu hakelim, and therefore the kelim broke and they fell, right? Because I used the example of a light bulb. It's in the ceiling, right? So it's in the ceiling, right? And it'll break, it'll fall, and that's what happened. The light was up on high, and the light fell. That's the Shviras HaKelim. That's the sparks, the Netzitzis HaKadoshah that we have in the world, in our job to lift up the Netzitzis throughout the world. Okay, Lemata Lemidor HaKlipas, to the place where the Klipas are in the world. Okay, that's why when we were in the desert, right? We had the 42 journeys in the desert, right? And sometimes we stayed in the desert, we stayed only there overnight, and sometimes we were there for a week, sometimes we were there for a month, sometimes we were there for a year. Why? Because it depended, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the Shviras HaKelim, these sparks fell into places that would be less likely for man to ever be in, to lift them up. Because the other side doesn't want us to lift up the sparks. Because if we lift up the sparks, then Mashiach comes, right? If everything we clean up all of the sparks, we pick up all of these shards that were there, so then we can actually the Mashiach is comes, and then everything is all good again. Right? They don't like that. Right? So that's why sometimes we had to be in a place because there was a lot of sparks that fell in that place, and we needed to spend a lot of time over there to lift them up, as we do mitzvahs, Maasim Tovim, as we talk to Hashem, as we get closer to Hashem. Right? In that place, we lift up the sparks. Right? The Kedushas Levi says when you're traveling, right? If you're traveling and you go somewhere and you didn't realize you were ever going to get there, right? Whatever you're riding on the road and you decide someone has to use the restroom, whatever, in your car, and you stop in a place. You weren't planning on going there.
Rabbi, we were going to Uman once in a van, and we're sleeping for hours. Suddenly, one of the guys woke up in the van. He's like, "Where are we?" The driver says, "Berdipchum. Take us to Berdipchum." We went in. That was the only time I went there.
That was the only time we were in that cemetery over there, right?
No, because you said by mistake.
Yeah. That was a good mistake. That's a good mistake. Yeah. You wind up by the Kedushas Levi. Wow, that's a good mistake. Yeah, I've been there. Baruch Hashem. Zachiti. Baruch Hashem. Okay, Limda Aklipas. Ad shenishapech etzlam kol amidos toivos mehepech el hepech. They take the good midah and they flip it over and they make it the worst thing possible. Right? They make it the worst thing possible. Right? They take all of the midos tovos and they bring it down to the v'hapchu divrei elikim chayim ad shenasa etzlam svores lahepech menemes. And they take the words of the Torah and they capsize it. Right? They destroy. It's unbelievable. Like the enlightened movement did. That's really what they did. V'akol meichmas hanetzoytzes hagedoshis shel midos elyonos shenaflu bahem. Right? What?
Why does the mitzvot that fell down into the place give them the koach to do the ta'ud?
No. Because it fell down, it was supposed to be high, but now it fell. It's in the dirt. The nitzitz is in the dirt. It's like when they find diamonds, right? The diamonds are in the mud, right? Or gold, right? Where's gold? They have to dig into mud, right? It's in mud, right? Is that right? Yeah. Right? They have to dig into mud. Why? Because that's like the nitzitz. You have to lift it out of the schmutz.
But why does that all Eloki that fell
because it's hidden.
Is what gives them the koach to have these ta'ud.
Okay. So we were learning yesterday the idea that when everything in the world is the matnas chinam, right? Everything's matnas chinam, and there's Torah in everything in the world, right? Torah in everything in the world, correct? We said it, but you have to learn how to find that Torah, right? You have to know how to find it. You need your tefillah to find it. Otherwise, you could think it's mine. I earned it.
So they don't have tefillah. So this
they can bring them to the lowest things because now they're getting Torah, but they're not getting the benefit of the Torah. They didn't make the birchat Torah, right? They didn't make the bracha. Then whatever. Okay, Bahem. Shal yedei zeh nisachsu Bahem. Haklipos and mekabel mehem koyach lehepech el emes l'shaker legamre me'ein oisay emes. Because of that, this klipa, this nitzais grabs onto them and it pulls them down because bebechinas kol sheker she'ein by emes betchilosay ein miskayim b'soifay. Any time you have something you have a lie, the lie has to have in it some kind of truth. There has to be something of truth in order for it to exist. That's the nitzoitz. That's the truth that you can make turn it into the lie. If you didn't have that, it wouldn't work. It's amazing what Hashem did. I'm telling you, it's mind-boggling to understand how Hashem wants Bechira so much in the world, what He went through to do this. This is fascinating. This is truly fascinating. How He has to take the klipas, break them. They should come down here. That's the emes that's hidden inside the schmutz. And that's what gives it existence to exist. It's fascinating.
Sounds more like a nightmare to me.
No. No. It's fascinating to understand how the godless of Hashem, to understand what He went through to do this. It's unbelievable. The chokhmah that's here, it's fascinating.
You say the word sheker, the shin that's in the sheker, the shin is the emet of the word sheker.
Yeah. But the word sheker itself, it doesn't stand. Why? Because the shin is a V, He doesn't stand good. He doesn't have flat. And then the kuf
One
is
foot.
1 foot, and the
Reish
resh is 1 foot. But emet is aleph, has 2 nice feet to him, right? The mem has a flat bottom. He's strong, and the tuf has 2 feet.
But the
He
shit
stands.
Of the shit of the Sephardi.
Yeah.
He's not really on a V. He's very. He looks almost like two. He almost looks like he's sitting on the bottom vav. So that's the emet that's in the sheker.
That's in the sheker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What? Ki kol kat v'kat me'akitois harois. Because each one of these very groups, from all of these groups, shehayu lahem svaros b'dius because v'yos lehepech min amis. They had such warped ideas, such convoluted ideas that were the opposite of truth. Kol zeh nimshach b'shorshay meiz et tzad emes b'shorshay shemekame aval etzlam niskal kol zeh emes. But by them, they destroyed the emes. They're working their best to destroy the emes. V'nisu al yedei zeh l'dei azoris me'od, and it brings them to the strangest thoughts, to the way, the most foreign thoughts. Kol echad me'ein oisai amida shenafal etzlam al yedei b'china shvira. So therefore, there were 10 different ones. There are different groups of sparks that are connected to each different one of the 10 different midos. So each one that grabbed onto that from that midah that they got involved in, and again, Hashem worked it out in the world. That all the neshamas, the people, He knew exactly where the sparks would fall. Hashem made the people born in those specific places, right? They would be born in this specific place, right? Israel, you said you were born in California, right?
Yeah.
Right? The guy's an Israeli, but he was born in California. See that?
In the hotel, California.
Right? It's amazing, right? It's amazing, right? You have to be in these places. You have to be in these places. You have to be in those places connected to those ideas. It's fascinating. All right, here we go. So that's the idea of really we're trying to get to understand what is the basis of this story. Where was Rabbi Nachman going with this story, and why is Rabbi Nachman? What was this? It's a fascinating story. Anyone that reads it and you see the creativity of the Rebbe, it's fascinating how he's able to create such a story, but put the greatest secrets inside those words that seems like such a nice story to read.
But also, it's connected to the real nations of today. That some of them want money, only money. Some of them want
It's real life. Yeah, it's real life. Yeah. It's connected to real life. Mamish real life. Real life.
And it's inside of us, all of it.
Yes.
Every human.
You come up with brilliant ideas, really brilliant ideas, like building a pier in Gaza. That's a brilliant idea. Wow.
A pier, right?
And
Okay.
it breaks off and floats away.
It's amazing, right?
Seeing all this stuff happen.
It's humorous. Hashem makes everything in such a humorous. It's humorous, mamish humorous.
If you're God, you can laugh at this.
You what?
If you're Hashem, you can laugh at it. That's for sure.
No, but if you see it through Hashem's eyes, it's funny. It's mamish funny. It's funny.
Nachman said that. Look at this Chachomim. They came up with for instance, some new weapons to kill thousands of people at once.
Yeah. Again, that's the cut of the Ritzicha, right? These guys, they murder. That's the way to do it. That's it. Yeah, these murder. Okay, here, let's go to Gimel. We have a little more time. I think so. Do we have time? Yeah. Okay, Gimel. L'mashal, akat she'amru she'ikra tachlis hu kovet. Right, that group, the first group in the story, when the Baal Tefillah was caught by the second group of the guys that were involved in money, that loved the money, right? So these guys made themselves. They had a system that if you had so much, if you had a certain amount of money, you were considered a god. Literally, they would consider them a god. And then if you had a little less money, then you were considered a human being. If you had less money, you were considered some kind of an animal. If you had less money, you were considered some kind of an insect. bug, a sheretz. It was all based on money. All based on money. So there were some guys that would literally sacrifice themselves to these other guys with the money, with the gods, because they wanted to come back reincarnated as part of those guys that have all the money, because that's the tachlis of life, money. That's the tachlis of life, is money. I need more money. So I'll give my life up because I want to come back so I can have more money. But there was...
They believed in coming back in the Gilgul?
Yeah, wait a second. But there was some of them that said, you know what? These guys are too far from us. We're going to go to another place. There's a place that we can mine some gold, and a place that we can mine stuff. Maybe they went to California. Who knows, right? The gold rush. Remember the gold rush in California, right? Who knows where they went, right? Okay, and they went over there and they started another system of money because but they knew that they were not the real guys, because the gods were over there, because they really have the money. We don't have the money. We don't have the money, but they really have the money. And then the Baal Tefillah went to this second group, the lower group of the money, and he was caught. They caught him. They caught the Baal Tefillah. The Baal Tefillah used to go dressed up in different disguises, so he shouldn't get caught, right? And they were trying to figure out how he got into their place, because they made like a moat around it that no one would be able to get in. How did he even get in? The Baal Tefillah said, well, now that I'm here, what's the difference how I got in? I'm here. I'm here. What's the difference how I got in? I'm here. Right? But they caught him, and then he was telling over the story of where he came from with the king. There was the king, and the king had his hand that had the map of the world and all the worlds and everything. And then there was the princess, and there was the child. And then the warrior was given over to the princess to be the what do you call it? The rightful mate for the princess. He was given over, and then please, I'm begging you guys, read the story. Please read the story. It'll mean so, yeah, that story. Yeah, just read the book. Take you an hour. It's nothing. It's a kid's book. I gave you the kids' book. It's great. It's really great. Rabbi Kramer he did that. It's great. It's really great. Okay, l'mashal akat shamru she'ika tachlis hu covered. So that first group that he was telling over of the ones with the covet. We're going to work on this covet a little bit. We're going to work on this a little bit. B'haya lahem leichachais usforis rabbis alzeh. They had so many different ideas of how covet is the main purpose of life. That is the goal in life. The more honor you have, the more honor you achieve in life, the more honor you come up with, that's the purpose in life. That's connected to the kavod of Kedusha, the kavod of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is where the aye mekayim kivoda, like we say in the Keser, right? Aye mekayim kivoda, right? This kavod is really Hashem's. Hashem's kavod is everywhere in the world. Miloi chalaretz kivoda. What do we say in the Kedusha? Miloi chalaretz kivoda. Hashem fills the world with all of His kavod. Miloi chalaretz kivoda. Hashem's honor is filled in the world. But when they took the honor fell. The honor fell, right? The honor fell, and it came to such a thing where people thought that you have to honor other people, not kvod Hashem. Honor other people. Ki yesh kavod the kedusha shu kavod Hashem yisbarach ukvod Teirosa HaKadoshah, right? The Hashem and the honor of His Torah, the tzadikav and his right, the righteous tzadikim, amitiyim. Shekoloi lamayis nivru b'shvil zeh hakavod. All the worlds and everything was created for that kavod, for the kvod shemayim, kavod of Hashem, kavod of the Torah, kavod of the tzadikim, kavod of Eretz Yisrael also. K'may shomer b'seinu zal, kol ma'aseh bara kadosh baruch hu b'lamay le'bara ela l'chvaydai. Right? You know those words, right? Everyone knows those words. Everything Hashem made in the world, He made for His honor, for His glory, for Hashem's glory. It's all about Hashem's glory. Shenema kol hanikra b'shmi l'chvaydi b'rosiv yitzartiv af Asisa, right? Kamay Bekama Torahs B'divrei Rabbeinu Zal Shekavod the Kedusha Hu Shorish Kol Habriya. Right? This is what Rabbi Nachman's talking about. This is what all the tzaddikim are talking about. That the whole thing is all about more Kvod Shemayim. Right? That's what everything is about. Wait, want to say something? It's all about Kvod Shemayim.
Say, if Hashem did everything for His own covet, and He didn't really make a straight, clarity of where He is. Nobody knows where He is. Even you have to learn. You have to learn Kabbalah and learn Chassidus.
But wait a second. Okay, so then why do you?
I'm saying it shows the Anava of Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
Of course.
How humble He is, and on the other hand, He's saying He created everything for His covenant, and you can't even find Him, and nobody can even find
Hashem
Him.
Malach Geyas, Lavish Hashem, right? You say right. Hashem has covered, right? He has. Okay. The whole idea is really Kvod Shemayim, and that's why we keep saying it in our davening, right? Meloy Chalaretz Kevodo, right? We keep talking about it. We keep saying that. Right? Hashem Yimloch Liolam Voy. Right? We keep talking about these words, right? We have these words, we keep trying to reinforce it in us. Right? We have to take the words to heart, right? Miloi Chalaretz Kevoda. Right? Hashem's everything. You could find the covenant of Hashem in everything in the world. In the covenant of Hashem's Torah, because we said that everything came from the 10 utterances. Right? That everything of creation is part of the 10 utterances. Right? Anything you have in the world, anything you find in the world came about because of the 10 utterances of creation. Correct? So that means the Kvod Hashem is there. But can you reveal it? We have to reveal it. That's what we're supposed to do. Hashem hides in the world. We have to find Him. Find the Kvod Hashem. Reveal the covenant of Hashem. What?
That I understand all that, but just why, I don't understand.
We don't have to understand. I'm explaining. The basic reason is so that way there can be Bechira in the world. That's the reason why. So you can choose Hashem. If Hashem was so clear in the world, then you wouldn't have the whole UN, right? The whole UN wouldn't be there, and then the president, by all these guys wouldn't be there. They say, okay, we realize it's not us, it's you, Hashem. Nothing would work. If they saw the truth, right? They saw the truth, so then none of this exists. So there's no mistakes anymore. We won't make a mistake. We wouldn't understand. We wouldn't pay attention to the Yetzer Hara anymore. Right? Why? If we knew the truth, why would we pay attention to the Yetzer Hara? Right? We keep learning about how to realize that Hashem is part of our life and Hashem is in us. Right? Right, that's what we're learning, right? That's all the learning that we're doing is we're trying to realize that Hashem is part of our life, and everywhere we go, we can find Hashem. That's what it's all about. So we can get an edge over the Yetzer Hara. Otherwise, the Yetzer Hara gets too powerful if we don't realize that, right?
So these guys had the right idea. They were searching for ultimately for truth. Each thing, money, honor, even murder, has an element of MS.
Speech. Another guy had speech. They wanted speech, right? They thought that speech is the best. They found the crazy French guy. They found the crazy French guy that was babbling to himself. And they asked the guys with speech, that they thought that was the tachlis of life, to have speech, to orate, speech. So they found some crazy French guy that was mumbling to himself, right? A French guy, right? French. The Rebbe loved the French. He found a crazy French guy, right? A crazy French guy that was bummed. So they asked him, do you know a lot of languages? Yeah, he knows a lot of languages. Not like most Europeans, right? Most Europeans know multiple languages, right? I know a lot of languages. Wow, you know so many languages. You are our king.
Just no French.
Huh?
Not French.
What's that?
French don't speak French. That's fine.
No.
I meant French.
What?
I meant French. They only speak French. It's the other little.
The French only speak French, but the other countries speak other languages.
No, they do. They speak other. But this guy spoke a lot of language, and because they made him the king. Okay, anyway, here. Shayvish kol hanefashos bechinas besoidam al tovay nafshi bekolam al teichar kivaydi. Right. Ayin sham b'Torah al pasuk v'ayei haseh la'oila me'aTorah chavolim nafli b'neim, right? Likutey ran tinyana of Bishar Mekaymis, where the Rebbe is really talking about this idea that it's all about Kvod Shemayim, and that's really all the Rebbe was talking about. Where it's all about Kvod Shemayim, finding the emes of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Umachmas shekvar shekavad the kedusha hu shayrish kalabriya. And because then we just established that the covet of the kedusha is the shayrish of all of creation, of everything that Hashem created. Hashem made everything for Hashem's glory. Al kain me'es shahaya shviras hakelim umisas hamalachim. At that time, when you had the shviras hakelim, and then you had the misas of the malachim that we spoke about, the 7 kings that are listed in Parshas Vayishlach, where it says the kings, the kings that came from Esav. He lived and he died. He lived and he died. He lived and he died. There were 7. It says that they lived and they died. That was when the sphere was in its height. That's when the world was at its height. And then when it said he died, that was the Yerida. That's where it went down. That's where it allowed for the Yerida. Each one of the Midas took a step down. Each one of the Midas went down one level. Went down. And then all the worlds got all convoluted, mixed up. Everything got mixed up because all of the spheres were out of line. Each sphere went down one level, so that allowed for all the mistakes to come about. And again, why? So that there could be bechira in the world. Shezeh bechinas ma shekosav b'maisa anal shepam achas haya ruach sa'ara shebilbul v'hafech es kol olam kulay. There was this big storm that came, and it uprooted everything of creation. It uprooted everything. Like we said, there were deserts and forests that became civilizations. Civilizations became deserts and forests, and oceans became land. Land became ocean. Everything got mixed up. Everything was all mixed up. All of this is the idea of the breaking of the kalim, the breaking of the vessels. They were changed over from their seder. They had their seder. They had their order. All the spheres were in line. Everything was perfectly aligned. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought everything down, so they weren't in that line exactly, again, to allow for all of this stuff. Kayadua, right? Anyone that understands, it's like Reb Noson says, Kayadua. V'al kein, oz me'achar, haruach sa'ara, shehu b'china shvira shekelim, oz nishabu kol ha'kitos rois, ha'mevoyarim sham, shenisu v'navoichu, medeyas zara shelahem. And that's what came about, that the other groups can come around now, and they can make those mistakes. And people can follow those mistakes because of this. Again, do you choose Hashem? That's the question. Do we choose Hashem, or do we choose what's fashionable? Right? Oh, this is what's going on in the world. I'll do that. Right? Like even today, I think most of the people that are protesting, right, all of these guys that are protesting around the world, they have no idea where Israel is. I bet you. They have no idea what Gaza is. They have no idea what Palestine. They have no idea about anything. But everyone's doing this, so I'll do that also. It's fashionable. It's good. I have nothing to do, so I'll do that also. Right? Do you agree with me?
The media had a big control on million.
Media.
Google. Media.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, anyway. Okay. Zoris Shelahem. Shekol zed nimchach min nefilas hanetzoitzes min midos hakedoshos shenaflu aleim. Al yedei shviras kelim. All through the breaking of the vessels. Shayedei zeh tov v'hapchu ha'emes mehepech el hepech v'amru sheikya tachlis hu covet. That this guy came, these group of guys came up with such an idea. Hey, covet is the thing. That's where it's at. Covet. I need more covet. Covet. That's where it's at. But it's the absolute backward. Because again, that's why is that the first group that the Rebbe is explaining to us?
That's what Hashem wanted.
That's the whole point.
And then
everything falls from there. Everything falls from exactly.
And it's MS.
It's
not for them.
But it's not exactly. Wow, you got it. Okay. Baruch Hashem. Ki yikra atachlis shel abriya hu rak kvoid Hashem yizbarach v'tayrosay v'tzadika v'amitim. Reb Noson is going to wants to reinforce this, that we understand it. The main covenant is what? Hashem, the Torah and the Tzaddikim. She'yavshel liskois lazeh ki'im, you can't come to this, right? Kishema'atin b'kvoid atzmai. You have to lower your own covet. You have to be able to lower your own covet in order to come to the covet Hashem. If a person is arrogant himself, the person is haughty himself, how is he ever going to come to kvoid shemayim? How is he going to come to the covet of Hashem, the tzaddikim? The guy say he's a tzaddik. What do you mean a tzaddik? Do you understand the greatness of the tzaddikim? Right? The guy, but the guy's horny, so he thinks he's the tzaddik. He thinks he's great. Right? He'll never come to the kvoid shemayim. He can't come to unless the person lowers his own covet. Legamri ubarchim in a covet. You have to run away from covet. You have to run away from covet as far as you can. Legamri be'emes v'yoydim p'chisusai v'shiflusai. You have to know our own level. We have to know what low level each one of us are on. Again, we have the Yeridas Adoris. We understand that, right? And we understand that we're not like the generations that were. But on the other hand, we have to remember, because we're so far away, any little thing we do means so much. Every time we choose Hashem, it's so precious to Hashem, because we're so distant. We're so distant. You understand that?
Why are we more distant than before?
Well, we're more distant from Har Sinai. Every generation we get more distant. We get distant away from Moshe Rabbeinu, right? It keeps going away. Right, it keeps getting lower. You read the Sadoros, you know that, right?
You read the exactly the same.
Hashem is the same.
So we're not any further from Hashem than anybody else.
Hashem didn't change, but everything in the world is changing. It's getting more distant from Hashem. You understand? But then when we choose the Rebbe Noson, we choose Hashem, it means so much today. It means so much today, right? The Rishna said that one day he was sitting and he was stroking his beard, and the Rishna said that, "Oy, I don't know if I would be able to live in the end of time, in the Mashiach's time." The Rishna said, "I don't know if I would be. I don't know if I would be there. I could be who I am today if I would be then." Right, with all of this shtus that we have to go through today, right? It's very special. Anytime we do the right thing today, it means so much more. We're shaking the worlds upstairs, right? When we daven nates and we put on the tefillah and we do our things, we're doing mitzvahs. It's amazing. It's really amazing. V'hu nivze be'ena v'nomos v'esyireya Hashem yichaveh. A person's supposed to loathe himself, but he's supposed to always honor the Yarei Hashem, those that fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu and mechabe them HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Oz daike yizke lagia ela tachlis amiti. Then the person will come to his tachlis, right? If we work on this every day, we realize our level, right? But again, not to put you in a depressed mood, chas v'sholem. No, you should have a simcha that when I'm in this world today, with all of this, and I know I'm on a low level, but there's nothing I can do about it. I understand it. I'm not the Vilna Gaon. I'm not the Baal Shem Tov. I'm not Rabbi Nachman. I understand that. But I am who I am today, and I'm doing what I can do today. You understand? But I respect the tzaddikim. I know that they were greater than me. I know my level, right? That'll bring a person la tachlis amiti la'asid likolo b'chvoid Hashem be'emes b'chvinas kvoid Hashem yasvecha. Right, it'll bring you in. Right, b'chinas ki mechvade achaved. Whoever you Hashem says, if you are honor them, then you'll be honored. Hashem will be honored. She'ein adam zeichel lezeh ki im kifi ma shemevatel kvoid doi be'emes legamri. We can only get this if we work on lowering our covet. We work on lowering our covet. We can allow for the covet of Hashem to be part of our lives. You understand that? If you have covet, if you need looking for honor yourself, you're not going to allow the covet of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in your life. It's not going to work. You understand? So we lower our own covet. We can allow for the covet of Hashem to be in our lives, and that can bring a little shtadel, kol yomav laharbeis kavod hamakim, and you work every day. You work to bring up more kavod hamakim, more covet of Hashem, bring more kavod Hashem in the world. Let more people know about Hashem. If you have clients, if you have friends, if you have colleagues, whatever it is, let them know there's Hashem in the world. and we're supposed to honor the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's not about honoring the stupidity of the world, what the world says to honor. Right? The world honors people that have a lot of money. They're honored, right? Guy's a very, very wealthy guy. He's honored, right? The guy's a murderer. They honor him, right? Right? In jail. Yeah, in jail, the murderers, they're honored.
The fan mail.
Yeah.
Rabbi Akiva היה מכבד עשירים.
Yeah, right. Hashem chose them, but Rabbi Akiva was Machabed Hashirim, but he was, he understood that Hashem gave them the money, and Hashem chose to give them money, and they were doing the right thing with their money.
So he מכבד them.
They was Machabed them because they did the right thing with it. Money is a big test. Money is a big test. Are we going to do the right thing or not? Right? Shehu, what?
But the Maharal
Some people don't have a test with money, Baruch Hashem.
I understand it. Other people have other tests. They have other tests. Right?
But on the other hand, the Maharal, he did, how do you say cherem?
He put himself in exile.
No, I mean, the rich people in the community.
Okay, I mean, excommunicate.
They didn't give charity for the poor people in the community.
Yeah. So they made him chayv. Right? Put him in excommunication. Right. The person's not worried about his own honor at all. And these guys, they turned over the emes mamash. They took the truth of what the kvoid Hashem is, and they made this old crippled person. They made him their king because he was so honored, because he was such a wretched person. He was so, but the people would carry him and do everything, so they made him unbelievable. To run after covered. Chas v'shalom rachman litzlan, may I die from this idea. Hashem should protect us from all these ideas. And listen, so today, realize the whole idea HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants is to bring more Kvod Shemayim. How do you have more Kvod Shemayim? Do more things. Do more, get closer to Hashem. Do more things. Choose Hashem. Recognize Hashem in your life. Recognize Hashem in your life. That's Kvod Shemayim. Right? Before you say something, before you go, whatever you do, you realize, Hashem, you're with me. Give Shivisi Hashem L'negdi Summit. Practice that. Right? The first rule in Shulchan Aruch starts off, Shivisi Hashem L'negdi Summit. Realize, Hashem, you're with me all the time. Could you imagine that? Hashem is with you all the time. Wherever you go, Hashem is there. That's why you can always talk to Hashem, because He's always there. Right? Okay, so everyone should have a wonderful day. Please, again, if you can spend some time today reading the story. The next, 25 lessons are going to be about this story. So the more you understand the story, the more the lesson will have more meaning. Kol tov, b'sara tova.